international call-ups, Tyler Adams' injury update, Diego Llorente's AS Roma future, and this week's Rumour Mill. Hiya folks, Jay here at The View. Good morning, afternoon, evening, and welcome to The View. Last video of the week before we do some form of a match review on Sunday probably. There's not a massive amount going around, so we'll crack on with this. And we'll start off with the underage call-ups and some good news for some Leeds teens. Darko JB and Sonny Perkins have been rewarded for what has been a really, really positive season for them with the Leeds United under-21 squad. Both players have been called up to the England under-19 squad. That positive form now being brought into the international break, which is great to see from both of those two players. Mateo Joseph has received his first ever international call-up. And it's for England, not Spain. Joseph is a Spanish-born player. However, he does have an English parent and in the past has spoken about his desire to represent England and play in England, hence his move to Leeds United. Charlie Creswell has been called up to England under-21 squad. This is more good news on what has been an incredibly positive period for Charlie Creswell, becoming a mainstay in the Millwall squad, scoring goals, keeping clean sheets, and helping Millwall into the playoffs as well. And now being rewarded again by another England under-21 call, which is fantastic news for him and all the young players. It's great that we've got this strong crop of strong young up-and-coming players. So well done to them. Great stuff. Moving on, let's talk about Tyler Adams. And there's some mixed information going around about Tyler Adams this morning. Some areas are saying that he'd probably be out for the rest of the season, which just doesn't look like it's even slightly true. So we'll take some information from a more credible source. And Phil Hay has been speaking today or yesterday on his podcast about the player. And what he has said is Leeds expect to have Adams back in the fold for the trip to Arsenal after the international break. Adams picked up what has been described as a slight hamstring strain and is seeing a specialist at the moment. That's all standard protocol, nothing unusual there. And Phil said the injury didn't appear to be a huge concern to Leeds. It is not 100% clear on the severity of the injury, and a lot of what's been said will depend on reactions to treatment and rehab that he's having himself. But what Phil said is that 2-week breaks should be enough for him, but it will all depend on that. But Leeds don't seem to see this as a large or big concern, which is good news for us. We'll get Tyler back, hopefully fresh, and a little break that he probably needs as well, to be fair. Moving on, let's have a quick chat about Diego Llorente, whose move to AS Roma is going about as successfully as we thought it might. Diego Llorente had 1 minute of league action in Serie A for Roma before making his debut for Roma in the Europa League. He then, unfortunately, was taken off in the first half of the game and hasn't featured since. According to Il Messaggero in Italy, AS Roma may want to avoid taking the £18 million plunge to make Llorente's move permanent. They have said that it doesn't look like the move will happen. And in fact, they say that the signing was only ever intended to bulk the squad for this season and was never intended to be a permanent deal. It appears, if this is the case, that Roma put that deal in place to get it done with no intention of paying the £18 million, regardless of how well Llorente played. Now, that could change. He could come back into the fold. Mourinho might be really happy with him. He might come back in after his injury in great form and make the move. Must happen, but it looks very unlikely that that's going to happen. And we will see Diego Llorente return to Leeds probably in the summer. Let's get on to the Rumour Mill stuff. There's a couple of stories floating around. I'm not going to cover the Ilias Akumak stuff. We covered it actually last week a bit. And the story that we got last week was that the deal was pretty much all but done. It seems to be the same case this week as well. So I'm not going to go into it in much detail. It is last week's video and it is last week's news. Until the deal becomes permanent, there's no point in adding any more to it. It looks like it's going to be done in a 4-year deal, but we'll have to wait and see. We will talk about a man that's been linked with Leeds, and that's a man by the name of Gift Orban. And according to Ben Jacobs, Leeds could be in the equation to make the summer move for the record-breaking Nigerian superstar, as he's been labelled. The 20-year-old scored 12 goals in 9 appearances since he's joined Ghent in January. And his record-breaking stat is Orban broke the record for the fastest ever hat-trick in the UEFA competitions on Wednesday when he scored 3 goals in 3 minutes and 25 seconds in their 4-1 win over Başakşehir. 3 days after he scored 4 goals in a 6-2 Jupiter Pro League win over Zulte Waregem, former home of Habib Habibo, for those people who follow him around. So Jacob said that there's a lot of Premier League clubs watching. He did only join Ghent in January, and it's unlikely a summer move would happen. But he did say, should a offer of significant value come in, it would be very difficult for them to say no. And that's pretty much it for today, folks. And that's pretty much it for the week. I will probably be back on Sunday evening with a review of the Leeds and Wolverhampton game. There is a preview from that game on the channel from last night from the live stream. There's a lot of chat in there as well, so you can skip through it if you want to. Predicted lineups and what we think the key battles are going to be as well. And also yesterday's news video is still available for those to catch up on that if you've missed some nice pieces in there. Liam Cooper speaking about his future as well. So that's going to be it for me. Have a great day. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Fingers crossed for 3 points. And I will hopefully see you Sunday evening for a review of Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Leeds United. See you then. Bye.